Hello YouTube, still waiting for that Soul Burner Salamangreat structure deck to come out. So until then, I am releasing this February 2019 budget Phantom Knight deck profile. One disclaimer before I go into the video: there's no Psychic Wielder in this deck for two reasons. One is that it's not necessarily the best fit. There's already a lot of extenders like Junk Forward to get your extra level 3 monster out there. You got Kagemusha Knight. If you can normal Marauding Captain and get another level 3 using that monster too. You don't necessarily need Psychic Wielder. Also, it's a fairly expensive card, and I don't want to really spend like 40 bucks on a playset for my budget deck. I'd rather use that money on something that's a little more competitive. I don't play Burning Abyss, so I'm not going to buy Psychic Wielder for that. But this is a budget Phantom Knight deck profile, February 2019. Please enjoy the video. So we got triple cloak. Definitely want to be running 3 cloak and 3 of all the Phantom Knight monsters. This one, if you banish it, you can add any Phantom Knight card from your deck to your hand. Then you got triple boots. This is the one that adds spells or traps when you banish it. And then of course triple gloves that sends 1 Phantom Knight card from deck to grave. Boots also special summons itself if you control a Phantom Knight monster. That's definitely the most notable of any of these other effects that are not banishing related. So this one has something to do with ATK, turns to defense mode, gains ATK. This one gives ATK to a dark XYZ monster. I mean, these will not come into play too often. The one that you're going to be using all the time is specialing boots when you have a Phantom Knight monster that you control. But of course, all their banishing effects are very useful. So definitely 3 of each of these in a pure Phantom Knight deck. Definitely want to be running 3. And then triple Junk Forward. This is your main extender. When you have no monsters, you can special summon it, just like a Cyber Dragon. But it's a level 3, so you can go into your rank 3s. And then triple Marauding Captain. When you normal it, you can special another monster, level 4 or lower. It also has a cool extra effect with warriors. Your opponent cannot target warrior monsters for attacks except for this one, except for Marauding Captain. So all of the monsters pretty much are warriors in the main deck, except for like the hand traps that are optional. And a lot of the extra deck monsters are warriors too. So Marauding Captain actually has a decent effect. If you're going to leave 1 monster on the field, if you have lots of material and you don't know which one to use, I would say use Marauding Captain last, because you can keep that last effect on the field, which actually will protect your other monsters while Marauding Captain is on the field, because they have to attack this one. Then we got 3 Kagemusha Knight. Kagemusha Knight special summons itself when you normal a level 3 monster. Just an interesting way to explain the game to yourself. This is kind of new to a lot of players, and it was new to me a little bit ago. I mean, I understand it now, but just one clarification, and this may seem very obvious to some players. I'm not trying to insult the Yu-Gi-Oh! Intelligence of people who watch this, but if you have Marauding Captain and Kagemusha Knight in your hand, let's say Junk Forward, well, Junk Forward you're probably going to be special summoning, but let's say you have Kagemusha Knight, Marauding Captain, and 1 cloak. How would the chain link resolve if you normal Marauding Captain and you have Kagemusha Knight in your hand? What would happen is this would be chain link 1. You would ask your opponent if they have a response, and then chain link 2 would be Kagemusha Knight. So you special this, and then do they have a response to that? If not, 1 would resolve, and then you would special using Marauding Captain's effect. So that's kind of the order. This, then this, then this. So just a kind of confusing aspect of the game is chains and links and how they resolve. But I thought I'd explain that, seeing that that can be kind of a troublesome part of the game to understand. And then lastly, for the Phantom Knight monsters, we have 1 Fragile Armor and 1 Helm. Both of them have decent effects. I mean, Armor will draw you 1 card, banish this card, send 1 Phantom Knight card from your hand to the graveyard, draw 1 card, and then Helm will add a Phantom Knight card from your graveyard to your hand at the end phase of the turn. Both of them are decent, but I just run 1 of each because I have Shade Brigandine in here, and I'm going for rank 4s. and 1 Shade Brigandine by itself. Even though it's a great card and it can activate itself the same turn it was set, you still need 1 more monster to go into your rank force. And then because this is kind of a budget archetype, at this point it's budget, in a budget deck, I have triple Veiler. Wanted some hand traps, and Veiler can really stop some decks. I mean, Veiler is not a bad hand trap. It's the budget hand trap. So I thought I'd include my extra playset of common Veilers here. Then for the spells, we got 1 Rhoda. All the other monsters are warriors. 1 Phantom Knight's rank up magic launch. Only 1 of these. I see some pure Phantom Knight decks running 3. I really don't think it's necessary 3 unless you're running helm and armor at 3, but at 3 each. But there's not going to be that many times where you have Dark XYZ monster with no overlay units left, and you have this card in your hand. And of course, this card is searchable by boots and cloak, so you really don't need to run more than 1, I don't think. 1 Foolish Burial, because all the deck, or pretty much all the deck, is graveyard reliant. 1 Monster Reborn, just another extender. If you're lacking 1 monster, you go into Monster Reborn. 1 Raigeki and 1 Dark Hole. Just solid board wipes. A lot of times your opponent will not expect these cards, and Dark Hole is quite cheap. Raigeki is probably not a budget card, but I don't think it's a budget card, but it depends on the budget, but it's still a solid card. And if you're going for something that is kind of 1 more card to add to your lineup and you really don't know what to put in, put 1 of these 2 cards, because your opponent will not expect it. Definitely today's day and age, you won't see Dark Hole too much. Then lastly for the spells, 4 equip spells. It really doesn't matter what you run, but I thought I would run the best ones that I got here. 1 Moonmirror Shield. This is a solid card because a lot of the Phantom Knights are low ATK. 1 Phoenix Blade. All the monsters in the main deck, except for Veiler in this build, are warriors, so you can recur this card quite a few times, not once per turn. 1 Living Fossil. Definitely an optional card here. If you don't have this card, you don't have to go out and buy it. There's a lot of equipped spells that are solid. Living Fossil is pretty much a downgraded Premature Burial. That monster loses 1000 ATK and DEF, and doesn't have any effects, but solid enough to maybe get 1 more monster on the field for XYZ material, and if not, you just dump it with Isolde. That's really what all these equipped spells are in here for Isolde. And then 1 United We Stand. I don't have a Different Dimension Reincarnation. Not the end of the world to not have it, in my opinion, but United We Stand is decent. Different from Moonmirror Shield. If you're attacking directly, you can use the ATK. If you're attacking a monster, Moonmirror Shield is better. Just cards that you send to the grave. 1 more equip spell than what is necessary, just in case you draw 1. But actually, you can send all 4 and summon an armor or a helm, and then go into your rank force. So that's a play too. And then for the traps, we got triple Fogblade. Fogblade is the Fiendish Chain for Phantom Knights, and it's also got a banish effect. So you can add 1 Phantom Knight from, oh no, this one special summons 1 Phantom Knight from the graveyard. Fogblade is just a solid negate. I mean, you have the Veilers in here too, but you need some form of defense, and it's just actually a really solid card because it's just all around better than Fiendish Chain because it's got that secondary effect to special a Phantom Knight from the grave. And then double Shade Brigandine. Didn't play 3 here because I thought you're not going into the rank 4s so much that you need 3, and also you don't want too many traps because there are times where you have Dante on the field and you're milling with Dante and you already have Shade Brigandine in your hand, or you want to mill maybe Cloak or Boots to search Shade Brigandine, but you don't want to mill another trap, so when you do search that Shade Brigandine, you can activate it directly without having to wait a turn, of course, because it's a trap. So only 2. And then 1 Sword. Didn't put Wing in here because I thought Sword was slightly better. It's got a slightly higher ATK boost, and it's also continuous, which means it can be destroyed, yes, but it will give your monster protection for a little bit longer, not just till the end of the turn like Wing. And then 1 Mist Claws, which will recur 1 of your banished monsters, your banished Phantom Knight monsters, to your hand. And then also if you are being attacked directly, you can target 1 level 4 or lower Phantom Knights in your graveyard, special summon it in addition to this card, and then this card becomes that card's level. So, I mean, if they survive, then you can use them for material next turn, but that is just one miss clause because it's kind of a decent card. It's just a new one, so thought I'd include it. Then for the extra deck, 2 Rusty Bardich. Not necessarily using it to its full potential in this deck. I mean, there are some decks that have some crazy combos with Rusty Bardich, using Shade Brigandine too, but I thought I'd include it. It's got a cool Foolish Burial effect for Phantom Knights when it's during the main phase, and then you can also set a Phantom Knight spell or trap directly from the deck. Also, if a dark XYZ monster is special to a zone that this points to, you pop 1 card in the field. So a lot of times that is going to be Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, because you can set Shade Brigandine directly from the deck and then use that Shade Brigandine for overlay material. 1 Isolde to send your equipped spells to the grave, and then special a warrior from your deck. Also search as a warrior, but of course you can't use that during that warrior during the turn that it was added. 1 Wee Witches, which is kind of like the backup Isolde, I would say. I don't run 2 Isolde because I'd still rather have that ATK boost over Wee Witch's Apprentice, and also Isolde, you're not going to use more than 1 of them. The first time that you bring it out, you're going to be sending all your equipped spells to the grave, or the ones that you need to the grave, and then Wee Witches does benefit more of your monsters that are already on the field, and will have ultimately a higher ATK because of its boost. 1 Underclock Taker, because this is kind of a budget deck at this point. Phantom Knights are not very expensive right now, so 1 kind of splashable linked monster like Underclock Taker. Again, boost your ATK, so a lot of the Phantom Knights, there's 1 of them with 200 ATK, I think that's boots, so Underclock Taker will help for those situations. And then 1 Lanphalinkus, which is your backup link monster that points down, left, down, right. There are times where you have a light monster in the extra zone like Dante, or a wind monster like Levier, so you go with Lanphalinkus in those times. And then for the XYZ monsters, you got 2 Break Swords, which is a decent card. Pops 1 card on each side of the field. You have to, of course, have 1 card, an extra card that you want to destroy. So I don't go into this quite as much as I would think that I would, having 2, but it is the Phantom Knight's go-to rank 3, so I do run 2. The other one that is the star rank 3 here is Dante. If you don't have a turn, a play on the first turn, you can always go into Dante and just mill 3. Just get 2 level 3s out there, and then special as Dante, mill 3. Hopefully those are Phantom Knight cards that you mill. This card will of course gain ATK, so if you are attacking, you can do that too. 1 Levier to special your banished Phantom Knight monsters. There are a lot of plays where that you can make with Levier, where you have maybe Isolde or Wee Witches right here in the extra zone. Beneath it, you will have maybe a Levier, and then you can get 1 more XYZ monster on the field. If maybe you haven't special boots yet from your hand, you can banish or special summon 1 of your banished Phantom Knight monsters, and then save that last boot special summon using the Phantom Knight monster that you just special summoned with Levier as the Phantom Knight monster on the field. So what I'm saying is, this is really just allows you to get 1 more card on the field, and then hopefully if you have a Monster Reborn 2 or a Shade Brigandine, something like that, you can cheese out 2 more monsters and get 1 more XYZ monster on the field. And then for the rank 4s, I got a Evil Swarm Thanatos. Just a decent monster. It's a dark though, so it can go into you can go into this with Break Sword if you have rank up magic launch. So I thought I'd include some dark ones in here. Of course this could be Castel, and of course this one too, Evil Swarm Nightmare, could be Castel, it could be Abysswell, it could be Honor. Thought it'd be a little more thematic. And they're also decent. I mean, quick effect, immune to monster effects, and this one turns your opponent's special summon monsters face down defense. It doesn't affect links, of course, but can interrupt their plays if they're doing a bunch of special summoning and they intend to go into more link monsters or more extra deck monsters. Of course, they can't use extra deck monsters as face down monsters as extra deck material. and then one Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, as I mentioned, and then one Dark Requiem XYZ Dragon. These, you definitely want to have Dark Rebellion as the overlay material for Dark Requiem using a Magic Launch, and Dark Requiem is pretty solid. It's a quick effect, detach, solemn strike, pretty much negate and destroy. Also, it will turn, both of these cards modify ATK. This one halves the opponent's ATK, this one turns it to 0, and then both of them gain that lost ATK. So that's the budget deck profile. Thanks for watching. This was a slightly longer video, but this is just being made in the interim until the Soulburner structure deck comes out, and then I will bring a Salamangreat structure deck, or budget maybe, it depends on what I'm going for, video to the table. And I hope you watched that one, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. Bye.